we get a chance to talk to celebrities on Good Day, on 205, on The Pulse. I recently sat down with comedian Cedric the Entertainer.
He's awesome.
But he's long enough in the game that he just keeps it real.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He just says what he feels. He had an interesting take on this whole social media phenomenon of people talking a lot of trash to us.
It's a part of life where people start to be on Twitter and writing letters and saying what they want to about you and talking about your kids. And you forget, it's a thing in life, dog. If you go too far with the wrong person, they're going to slap it out you.
All right. So society would be a better place if people remembered that someone might slap you in your mouth.
I agree with that 100%. Watch your mouth, dude. I'm a big advocate of watch your mouth, man. Don't think just because you're on the other side of this phone that I can't get at you, right? And when I confront you, now all of a sudden it's a problem, right? Mm-hmm. So I agree with him 100%.
People get real brave,
right,
on a phone,
right,
or on the internet.
All of us, and probably most of the people watching, in some capacity have had that person who will say things to you that they would never say to you.
Oh, I get it every day
near you.
During Good Day Philadelphia. People.
But people know you can't respond.
I know. I want to.
Right.
I'm going to leap through the phone and slap him in the face.
Well, and that's what they know, especially when you're a celeb, right? Because as soon as you respond, now all of a sudden you got to deal with all the other people that are going to respond to what your comment is, right? But sometimes I almost feel like, look, man, it's worth it. And if I got to go through it with every single one of y'all to let y'all know that it's not a game out here, I know.
I got a guy, he emails a lot of us every day. Just vile stuff. And I responded to him a couple of times because I couldn't take it.
Right.
You quit emailing me. But then it just got worse and worse and worse.
So when did we get there?
I don't know.
Because I don't remember it always being like that.
No, it's as bad as it's ever been, and it's social media is the problem.
Yeah,
but I don't think
that's when we got there. Is when people got comfortable with social media.
And I think it's going to change in the next 5 years. I don't think it'll be this intense anymore for some reason. It'll get to a breaking point. We're at each other's throats, and something's got to change.
I never openly disrespect people. Mm-hmm. I'm never talking about your family. I'm never talking about... But Ben Simmons, I caught myself a couple of times in tweets.
I noticed
responding to things, and I'm like, yo, come on, man. You're acting like it. And then I'm like, yeah, this is...
But of the three of us,
7-foot grown man.
I think he has the thinnest skin because you do engage these people.
Yeah, I do. I care. It's a rough thing to admit on TV.
Right.
But the challenge for me has always been, if you're just a jerk and it's completely off the deep end, then I
don't engage.
But if somewhere in that situation you strike something that I may actually be thinking about myself, that's when it bothers me.
Well, I've had cases, too, where I do respond, and they completely back off.
Yeah.
And they're apologetic. And, I love the show.
Too.
I love you.
But then you get to cats who, like you said, they just dig, and they dig, and they dig, and you just got to be like, all right, man. You just got to let it go. I always say, man, it's a phone. It's social media. It ain't real. But if it ain't going there, then why bother, right?
And they're probably sitting in their mom's basement in their underwear.
Right.
Right. I think there are some people who actively try to get a response.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that makes the whole day.
Don't do it.
I don't think any of us are going to slap people, but Cedric makes an interesting point.
I would never physically slap somebody. Mike, well, I don't know.
I'm not going to answer that question.
I don't know.
I never say never.
Some people might need a slap, Mike.
It's like a perfect place to take a break. We are going to leave it there.
I'm frightened.
Coming back. Celebrities are allegedly abusing a diabetes drug.
Oh, yeah.
For their own appearance.
Ozempic.
Yeah, a lot of people deny it, but is that what we're now facing? Really, society? We'll be right back on Two Mics and a Bill. So the diabetes pill, Ozempic.
Ozempic?
It's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Apparently, celebrities and social media stars have understood that one of the side effects is that it can cause some pretty significant weight loss.
Yeah.
And people are using it for weight loss. But most don't want to admit
creating a shortage for people who have diabetes.
Actually have diabetes.
Yeah. So that's the bad side.
But they don't want to admit it. So people are showing up, having lost like 40 pounds in 5 minutes, just completely shredded.
Well, they want us to believe that they did it with discipline, exercise, and eating properly. No, they're popping a pill.
They popped the pill. Like,
I think it's an injection, isn't it?
I don't even know. I think
it's
it is
like
an
a monthly
injection.
or quarterly injection that you get. And one of the things that they say, the reason so many people are doing it is because there are minimal side effects. And now you have doctors and health and wellness people who are apparently willing to give it to you.
Oh, so has it been approved for just straight weight loss?
No. So there's an ingredient in it at higher doses that they use for weight loss, but there's also a shortage of that.
Right. So if I just wanted to go to my doctor and be like, look, I'm obese, I need to lose some weight, they couldn't prescribe that.
They couldn't ethically.
Okay, that's where I'm
Well, I've begged Dr. Mike to give it to me. And he says, I'm not going to give it to you because your body mass index isn't 27 or above.
Why don't you just find another doctor?
Well, that's what I said to him. I'll find somebody, Dr. Mike, or I'll just eat until I'm up to 28 body mass index.
You're a celeb, man. You don't have to take that from your doctor.
I feel like this is the problem.
This is the problem. No, I kind of want to take it, but I don't want to take away from people who really need it for diabetes.
No, I agree with you.
Well, but you know what's interesting? That, I think, is the biggest drawback of it, that you're hurting people who may actually need it for this. But there's a lot of celebrities who make a fairly strong argument. It's not hurting you, mostly. Like, there's not significant side effects. If it was readily available and doctors are willing to prescribe it, why not?
Why not?
No problem.
No, I agree, and I also feel like they should own it. Like, I mean, if it's okay and there's very limited side effects, right?
And they make enough of it.
And they make enough of it, like. Obesity is a huge problem in this country, right? So if we have something that can help people deal with that, and I think if the celebs would own it and say, hey, look, man, I was struggling with my weight. This was a cure. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be embarrassed.
What's there to be embarrassed of?
But I think the embarrassing part or the challenging part is that it's so superficial. Like, this isn't about, in most of these cases, the people who are accused, some admitted, they're not obese.
No, they're not.
Who are trying to get, this is not, their weight is not a health issue.
You're right.
Yeah, but we also do things, right, that it's people who are the vanity side of it, no matter what the fix is, right? It may have been intended for people who are really dealing with this illness, but if I can take advantage of it from the vanity side of it, I'll do that too. Like, that's always been a situation, right?
Here's an example of taking advantage of it. You know that Viagra was originally for blood flow.
See what I'm saying?
And then all of a sudden, boing.
Hey, man, I'm back in the game.
I'm back in the game.
I'm back in the game. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
so I don't have a circulatory problem.
No.
But I found a circulatory solution.
But I still take it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's always going to be.
Without a problem.
That's right.
And you went and rolled with it.
So if something works, there's always going to be the vanity side of it that says, hey, man, I could take this one step further.
Yeah.
So Amy Schumer is one of the people who admitted that she tried it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Chelsea Handler admitted that she tried it, but said that she didn't know what she was trying.
Did she think it was heroin? Like, what are you shooting up that you don't know?
I'm just popping pills. What was that one?
Just poking needles in your arm? Like, what did you think it was?
Good Lord.
Her anti-aging doctor, which is a whole nother discussion, her anti-aging doctor, in quotes, just hands it out to anybody.
Well, do you think people admit they do Botox now, right?
Right.
Yeah. That used to be hidden.
Elon Musk takes it, too.
Oh, did you see that Elon Musk is going to fight Jeff Zuckerberg?
I did see that, and
we'll talk about
that coming up next.
Would you watch that?
And it's Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, it's Mark? Who's Jeff Zuckerberg?
I think it's Jeff Bezos.
Have to come in
right, Jeff might be. It might be his father, right?
I'm mixing up my billionaires.
All right, guys, welcome back. What is this fight you're talking about?
Well, it's two billionaires. It's Mark Zuckerberg is going to fight Elon Musk, and it seems like it's a real thing.
In a cage match.
A cage match, because Dana White, who's organizing it, he says it's a real thing. He talked to both of them. They're going to fight.
So I know that so Mark Zuckerberg's been doing jiu-jitsu for a while.
Yes. And won a tournament in his weight class just recently.
Apparently, Elon Musk has some sort of martial arts background.
He's pretty proficient in jiu-jitsu as well.
But now he's also said he doesn't really exercise.
No.
More than just throwing his kids up in the air and catching them.
And he's 6 inches taller and 50 pounds bigger than Mark Zuckerberg.
Will this be the biggest fight in the history of the Earth?
I think it'll be the biggest hype.
Yep.
You know, because if Elon hasn't been practicing and Mark is good at what he's doing,
Mark's taking him down.
It's not going to be a long fight. But I think leading up to the fight, you're going to get a whole lot of hype.
Will you watch it?
Yeah, I'd watch it.
I think I would too.
Who are they going to donate the money to? Is this just going to go in their pockets?
No,
like, charity.
They said they would
it's going to be a charity? Okay, cool.
Yeah, they get to choose the charity that they want.
That's cool.
I don't want to see that. Now, I used to do Muay Thai and kickboxing, and so I was in the gym with a bunch of... I don't want to watch a bunch of people who aren't that good at it. Like, no disrespect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay $100.
But it's not about watching the amateurs fight. It's about watching these billionaires try to knock each other's heads off. Like, I don't care, but like, I really want to see like whoever's nicest with it. Like, if Mark Zuckerberg could kick Elon in the head and knock him out, I want to see that.
I'd like to see that too. And I don't think it's going to last very long.
No, I think it's going to be a short fight.
So you guys would pay the $100?
No, I'm not saying I'd pay the $100. I'm saying I'd watch it.
I'll find a place to watch it.
Yeah, somebody have it for free.
How? One more thing.
Okay.
We wanted to get in. So Jay-Z, Beyonce, two of the biggest stars. They lived in apparently a high-end renovated apartment while they were moving into their larger house. So they renovated this place, and all of the stuff that was in it, the contracting company, a construction company, put it up on eBay. So their bidet, their toilet, French doors are selling for thousands of dollars on eBay.
The new tenant is re-renovating the place, right?
Yes.
I think that's what I read, right? So
all the stuff is knocked out.
Yeah, so I mean, they were going to throw it away anyway. Why not make a couple dollars off of it?
Well, no, I can see that.
I can see selling it.
Who
wants it?
That's a different question.
Well, big fans.
Want their toilet?
Well, you imagine Beyonce sitting on there?
It's a toilet.
It's a toilet, Mike. Like,
it's a bidet.
Yeah,
squirting water up.
But I don't need these. These are things that you don't need in your life.
I'd rather have a bidet than a toilet.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't need to pay $2,500 for Beyonce's bidet. Like, I could just go buy one.
Well, yeah, but again, it's.
And then you gotta have a house that uses. So you got to be in a space that already has a bidet and say, I'm going to switch out my bidet for Beyonce.
What a conversation starter when people over at your house.
Or you just going to have it in the living room.
Yeah, just this is... No, I'd have it functioning.
Have a seat.
It would be functioning.
Would it be like a water fountain?
Yes. There'd drink out of it.
Oh, my God.
Beyonce's butt was on there.
$2,500. I feel like at $2,500,
I could do it for $2,500.
Yeah, you can get it.
Yeah.
Like, by the time people are watching this, you go check out eBay. And
somebody would have bought it, right? It'd be sold.
The screen name's going to be not Mike J, who went ahead and bid all this money to get Beyonce's bidet.
The J bidet.
The J bidet. Yeah. Next time you go visit Mike, it'll just be sitting in the living room.
I'm on board.
You're a collector.
He said, right.
Yeah.
So this could be set up in
no question.
Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
No?
I'm not buying
not
it. It doesn't make any sense to me. No.
Okay.
I mean, it has no value to me.
I gotta pee. I gotta go. I just won the bidet. I got the winning bid. So, you guys want to come over?
Might as well.
All right.
Have drinks.
I mean, yeah.
Sit around a bidet.
I'll come over, watch bootleg, billionaires fight.
There you go.
Champagne shooting out of it. How about that?
That actually
there
sounds cool. So you knew he would come up with something that would make this worthwhile.
Oh my God.
Just make sure you clean it up good before
a little bit, yeah.
Right.